Hey guys, April the 21st here in central Illinois. It's not yet dinner time and it's already hot and humid, and we're on the edge of maybe some severe weather later on this evening and into tomorrow. But we'll keep an eye to the sky, and I got a basement, so I know where to hide if the worst should come to pass. Anyhow, what we've done is we finally got the slope back tender. I've got it 99.9% done. Naturally, when you put them together, you put a little flaw, or you notice a flaw. The only thing that I've noticed on this one when I put it together, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but that little step right there got a little bit of red overspray on it. So what I'm going to do is, I had thought about taking and making the steps red anyhow, but I might take and let this paint get super hard, because even though it's about 2 weeks old, Rust-Oleum doesn't seem to respond well to rubbing, superfine rubbing compound. Now, I have seen videos of guys that have spray painted their cars with Rust-Oleum and buff them out, and I can't believe that they can actually do that and it not screw the paint up. But they say they do, and actually they're using some of the same stuff that I'm using. So I'm going to give it a try later on. You can barely see it. Actually, it was either overspray or I touched my finger to it in one way or another. But anyhow, we'll get that taken care of. Like I say, I'll either rub it out, or I'll leave it, or I'll paint the steps red. We did our rubber stamping. We got that all taken care of. I made stamps for this. The air brake stamp is an Ives stamp. The other safety first is one that I just had made a couple of days ago. And of course, I made the stamps on the side, and let's see if we can see around to the other side here. It really did turn out nice. It was a little bit of a problem because the rubber stamp is rigid, and you can't see it, but I can. The guy that made this tender, it's relatively heavy steel. So I would imagine, well, he's got a lot of solder on the inside. He did a lot of grinding and stuff. But it was hard to take and get that stamp to where it would release all its ink. You'd press down and maybe you were missing a quarter of it, or maybe the center was hollow. So I had to play around until I could find a right perfect spot to where I could transfer the ink to the car body. And you can see right here, that very corner at the end is missing just a little bit. But I can show you original stuff that's missing a whole lot more than that, and a lot of it that ain't even registered. In other words, it's cattywampus. So I don't try, not trying to make an excuse for a mistake, but they were toys, and even back in the day, they wanted them nice, but if they didn't get it aligned, they didn't care too much, it didn't seem to me. So we got this taken care of. Of course, we got a light on it, and the light, being typical template, it flickers all the time. And like I say, this is a 384, and all these wheels are geared. They're all flanged. This thing has got some really neat pulling power. It kind of runs in granny low, which is kind of cool. And here's another 384 that I bought some time ago, and somebody had converted it to an 040. That's completely fabricated motor, and those are cast iron drivers. So I don't know who did it, but I bought it and tore it apart and thought, well, I'll try and emulate it. And I can't come close, and I'm not even in the ballpark to the machining work that was done on this thing. This was done by a pro. So, all right, we're going to fire it up, show you what it'll do. And I've got one or two more projects I'm working on. Believe it or not, what I'm thinking about doing is one of the guys on my Facebook train pages said, hey, anybody ever make a giraffe car in standard gauge? So now I've got a giraffe car coming, and I'm going to see if I can't convert it to a standard gauge box car, or build a box car around it and make a giraffe car that with the head of the giraffe popping in and out. So, all right, let's start out with the 060, and this thing really pulls well. Doesn't take much power to get it started either. That 060 is a real creeper. There's virtually, I don't have to do anything with this. It doesn't run too fast. It runs damn near perfect. We'll kick it up just a little bit. But I'm well pleased with the way this little project turned out. Well pleased. I'm even more pleased with the engine. Now the only thing, I've talked to you before about this, I'd like to put some steps on the front, but you get too many projects going and then you leave them hanging in limbo. And like I say, I may put some steps on this. I've seen switchers that have got no steps, replace the coupler and everything maybe. But I'm not going to do any modifications on that locomotive. None. You ought to smell the ozone in this thing. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. It's almost 80 degrees up here. I think it's 78 and yeah, 77. And I need to think about buttoning up the house and turning on the AC, because if I have a bad storm tonight, the windows are all going to have to be closed anyhow. It's going to be hotter than hell in here, so I might as well be comfortable. You guys have a safe rest of the week. Hopefully you'll get no storms, and if you do, why, hopefully there'll be no damage done. And we'll talk with you all later. Toodaloo.